Good evening, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament on our new channel, and oh well, we've got a couple of good games coming up. At least I have been recommended a couple, so I must assume that they have some merit. First of all, Purple Destiny and Dragon. Dragon being the Terran incarnation of the Cherry Pie bot coded by TSCMU and others, but the Dragon is said to be a TSCMU project only. And Purple Destiny, of course, is the love child of Dan Gant, the random implementation of Purple Wave, and it is starting out with a very quick expansion which got scouted, or still is getting scouted, and a rather late barracks, but the Marines do somehow manage to chase away the scouting probe and a nice bunker, so SimCity-wise this is quite interesting. And on the other end of the map we got Dragon with a nice line of line dancing Marines. They could be a little bit better, but in theory they've got things better in control. Oh, and going for a bunker as well. So that's not too curious because, well, that bunker just adds a little bit of protection against vultures, of course. This being a TVT, there will be vultures. Oh, and a Wraith. Oh, this Wraith is right on time, and the other one is not willing to tangle with that bunker. So without bloodshed, I think that vulture is wise to get back to base and get some repairs probably. There you go, there it stands, but the SCVs are not really all that interesting in repairing it. Oh, and here comes Dragon with a small push, some Marines, couple of tanks, and look at the scouting. It's really got a plan, 2 Wraiths out there just to provide some air cover, and here come the tanks, and they immediately siege, and here come the vultures running up close, and Marines haven't really got the fighting power to help and stop them. Oh, and 2 Wraiths kill 1 Wraith. Now the siege is on. Dragon reinforcing from the rear, but there is not too much coming, but the bunker dies, and the Wraith is now in the SCV line, and the tanks are out there. Oh, and a Valkyrie as well, but Purple Destiny's already got a battlecruiser, and if you have got a battlecruiser, oh, you've got 2 battlecruisers, oh good god. I was already wondering where that macro advantage of TSCMU Dragon came from. But now with 3 battlecruisers, Purple Destiny is putting the brakes on this overly aggressive play of Dragon. And Dragon, what's it going to do? It's got an armory, it's got it's got a couple of starports, it's got a 3rd base coming up, but that of Purple Destiny is nearly done. And we have got these 2 battlecruisers here and 1 over there, so I'd say, oh dear, that Valkyrie is very, very brave. But with 2 battlecruisers and these stint Marines, if they stim once too often, they will probably just die. And 3 battlecruisers have got a lot of hit points, so this obviously is not really going to work. You can see them murdering stuff left, right and center in the middle of the map. Even with 3 SCVs repairing that Valkyrie, there are now 4 battlecruisers. This is bloody murder in the middle of the map. The Valkyrie is running for its life. Now we've got 5 battlecruisers. This tank is very lucky. I don't know why, but it's still there. And oh, that was a Yamato even going off. That was quite impressive. Boom, there it goes, and you can see these battlecruisers not really wasting any shots on a Valkyrie, which is going to be Yamato'd anyway, so that's pretty cool. And now the battlecruisers are onto the tank and the SCV, so pretty well done, if I might say so. And now the battlecruisers are going on a rampage, and some vultures are being sent as backup. What will we have? More battlecruisers, for the time being only 1 more. Could be a little bit better, but then again, you still need a bit of a ground army, although this is a lot of firepower. And this Valkyrie, oh, it gets Yamato'd immediately. And that is a pretty cool mechanic, so Purple Destiny is really dealing out the damage here. 1 Yamato, and oh, well, the Marines, they can be quite cruel, but in the end, oh, the battlecruiser Micro might be a little bit better. These Valkyries are doing some damage, and Marines from time to time as well. Then again, I've got the distinct feeling that Purple Destiny is getting a lot of purchase out of these battlecruisers. Might bring some SCVs along for repair, because these battlecruisers take a long time to get built and repaired. So, God, here comes another one. One volley and, oh, 1.5 volley and it dies. You can see the battlecruiser is getting pretty low. One more is coming up. And more battlecruisers are being ferried in. Here on the side, we've got Dragon macroing a little bit. Purple Destiny on 3 bases, and I don't know. Oh, it's they're waiting for the Yamato to hit the Valkyrie. And the Yamatos are quite effective, but I do feel with a little bit of repair from some SCVs. Oh, this Valkyrie, for instance, is doing way too much damage. These battlecruisers are all running, but they've got way too many. They can do quite a bit of damage, and I don't know. Oh, this one is probably even going to die because of inaction. I don't know what the hell is going on. These battlecruisers are doing quite well, but then they sort of just went AWOL. And of course, Dragon will macro, because it has got a lot of production outside of its main base. It's a nice touch. Oh, and 3 scouting SCVs do see the construction of the battlecruisers in progress. And now with the battlecruisers in the middle of the map, they take a lot of damage, although they are quite many. And they can't really make up their mind what they're going to do, and the repair is just not there. So that's a big issue, I feel. You can see these Valkyries with their small missiles eventually will do in a lot of battlecruisers. They are getting quite low. We've got 3 Valkyries now, so I don't know what is keeping these battlecruisers. They could kill these Valkyries easily. And now you can see that although Purple Destiny has got the army lead, effectively, oh, finally some Valkyries are being engaged. Yamato going off, one almost dead battlecruiser now dead. And that's a lot of battlecruisers, so I don't know what is keeping them, but here they come in to do some damage, and these two, you might really want to repair them, although I'd say the cost of the repairs, you might as well build a new one. It's just, if you are maxed, or semi-maxed, like Purple Destiny is now, you get a lot of extra army value out of repairing your battlecruisers. And this crazy hybrid army of dragons with the marines and the tanks, if the battlecruiser would just go into the side, but there is a big encroachment going on. Dragon is coming in from all sides and is now going to lay waste to this expansion tour, and then Purple Destiny would be down to 1 base. And although it's got quite a number of battlecruisers, Dragon, I feel, is trading a little bit more effectively, although it's wasting a prodigious amount of siege tanks in the middle of the map. Oh, and here comes one battlecruiser, single-handedly or wingedly. Oh, there are 2 or 3. Oh, and here comes the rest. So the battlecruisers have got things under control. Dragon, though, has got the upper hand in macro, but could do with some turrets as it's losing quite a number of SCVs here. And this base got salvaged by the battlecruisers. And now yeah, the siege tank had better run. Production tab wise, it's battlecruisers versus tanks and Valkyries, so that's quite interesting. I do feel though that Dragon is going to try and shift Purple Destiny out of this base, because if it loses that, it will be down to 1 base, and that 1 base is mining out anyway. So I think that in the long run, Dragon is not in as bad a position as these constant battles with the battlecruisers will probably lead one to believe. 3 Valkyries on a single battlecruiser, that's a lot of firepower. And with the Marines, if they do run underneath a battlecruiser and do a lot of damage, you can see, although what kind of upgrades have we got? We've got that is air armor plus no, that's the air armor, it's the +1 nearly starting. And what's that? I don't know what it is. Damn. I would say that this is air armor and this is ground armor, but anyway, these Marines are not doing an awful lot of damage to the battlecruisers. Battlecruisers oh, even got a nice concave up on Dragon, and Purple Destiny is taking out the base. The map, though, is crawling with units. And how many battlecruisers have we got? We've got 19 battlecruisers, 1 tank. Where is the 1 tank? It must be in a glorious position somewhere in the rear. Nevertheless, these battlecruisers are doing a lot of damage. This base is not yet taken. That would be a nice touch to add. And look at the fighting going on. Dragon is plowing a lot of resources into this fight, and as the most of these resources are being spent on marines and tanks, it's not really the most effective way to do that. I think that versus a pure, by now pure battlecruiser composition, a Wraith switch or a Goliath might do a lot better, but undeterred, lots of tanks are going to be built. God knows why, but that's the way Dragon rolls, and Dragon is getting behind only 20 army supply now. And there is a battlecruiser over this base, can't make up its mind what to kill. This base has been shut down, and Dragon has got a lot of income, no mistake about that, but the unit composition is just completely awkward. And Purple Destiny is going to, not going to, or is going to, or is half-heartedly depopulating this base. And Dragon appears to be in a lot of trouble. These SCVs are being rounded up record speed. Now we've got 21 battlecruisers, no other units, and a handful of SCVs. Pretty large handful, so depends on your hands, really. So, large bank now by Purple Destiny, and let's see how many Stargates it's got. It's got 1, 2, 3... Oh, just 3. And something unfinished. What is it? It's a factory. So 3 starports, and that's it. And a lot of battlecruisers now overrunning the main of Dragon, and Dragon, I don't know, is building a lot of workers, but otherwise not really all that much. Oh, a single Valkyrie. Going to speed it up just a tiny little notch. This is a lot of damage dealt by one turret. The battlecruisers just ignore it for some reason. And then you can build fresh battlecruisers, so that's okay. This base is dead. Oh, finally, Yamato will sort it out, and that's a lot of firepower packed into a single group of battlecruisers. 2 marines being the entire army of dragons. And, oh, taking over an empty control tower, that's pretty cute. I don't know where the SCV went off to, but oh, good, good. Some production outside, but you're maxed anyway, so why would you? And the battlecruisers are now on their way to the last base. I am going to call the GG. Well fought by Purple Destiny, and Dragon had better think about anti-air a little bit better than making tanks, because that just did not work. So, another game I will send is NLPR bot versus Halpan. Halpan has been updating steadily as ever, and I'm interested to see what it's going to do. Nice-ish war, very good. Gateway mechanic working perfectly. Oh, and now we've got a small game of tag on our hands. The SCV can outrun the Zerglings, and this Zergling aggression clearly does not work as well as planned. Halpan going for a double starport. Oh, I like it when bots do that. And now the Vulture is out. I think the Vultures are out. Ooh, the Micro's a little bit off, so I think that this Vulture is going to die as well. That's pretty sad. And now we've got a Hydra coming up. I did see the lair, so small peak, a lurker aspect is nearly done. Is done. Oh, and that's the best place to make a lurker. And now it's going to be a bit of leapfrog, and let's see what Halpan has got to try and stop that. This bunker is not going to be long for this world with only 1 marine in it, and now the ramp has been breached. There are, or rather there are 2 wraiths, which is good, but with the lurkers in your mineral line I can't really see this working all that well. Are there any redeeming features for Halpan at this moment? Yes, namely NLPR block is supply blocked. Oh, and now I fear that all the overlords will get killed, and all the workers may be in for the same fate as well. Still, we've got 4 lurkers over here, and that's going to be a bit of an issue. But let's see how well the Wraiths will do versus a severely supply blocked NLPR bot. And there it goes again. This one Hydra doing awfully well. And its NLPR bot's got 2 supply now. Where is the Hydra? The Hydra is gone, so I think that these Wraiths might have things well under control. And if the workers die... Oh, there is 1 Hydra, and the Wraiths dare not attack it, so this can be pretty close. The lurkers, meanwhile... Oh, a lot of them ran onto mines, that's... Oh, they're being sent back to help against the Wraiths, that's not good. But the command center is still sort of operational. Halpan is repairing it, but there is not really a lot of hope in sight. You might just go somewhere else. Oh, here come the lurkers again. By now this Hydra is still there, and the Wraiths are getting a little bit cowardly. They can't really do anything about that Hydra. And now NLPR bot is out of money. It cannot make an Overlord again. What's it making? Oh, it is making an Overlord, but that's going to take a while. And now all the lurkers are back. And there is only one Vulture, and the Overlord is here. So, base raise in progress. The command center is dead, so both players will have to make do with what units they have got. Halpan did not try and get another command center up or get any kind of scouting going. So, I think this is about it. Now, where are the Wraiths? The Wraiths are here, but they can't do all that much. And there are a couple of mines, but I really doubt that these 3 lurkers will die to these 3 mines. Then again, you never know. NLPR bot hasn't got workers, hasn't got money. The Wraiths are in a pickle. Oh, the Hydra cleans up 1 mine. That's good. The other 2 lurkers, they stay burrowed because reasons. And now the Wraiths are going to town on the Zerg base. This is going to take forever, but evenly distributing damage between all the buildings to kill them all in one fell swoop. And the lurkers are still stupid, so I think that Halpan will win this. GG, what a game. Let's hop into the next one. Let's hope... oh, it's Halpan again. So good. Another caliber of Zerg, and let's see if Halpan, well, can play a better game, because although it won last game, it wasn't really good. Now, Halpan going for a double proxy racks in a very obvious position. TSMU will scan, immediately head back home. Has got the natural up and running, is going for, oh, a spawning pool. Might throw down a sunken as well, that would be wiser. Especially if anyone's going to build a turret. It didn't do so. The workers are coming out to help and kill the Marines, but that's obviously going to be quite a bit of work. Oh god, look at all the workers dying. A sunken is thrown up in all haste. There are some workers still. And now all the workers are dead. And there is only one... oh, there are 2 sunkens. They can work pretty well, but you'd better keep that drone to the rear. And now there is a scouting SCV, and TSMU seems to have held. Halpan with not the greatest follow-up. Could have done with a bunker somewhere, that would have been nice. And TSMU is going to build workers. I think that's the good decision at this stage of the game. Halpan has got 18 workers though, and quite a tech lead. But it never does to count out TSMU. Even if it's the old Zerg, it's still pretty deadly. And we can only hope that it will not do that silly Queen's build again. With the double gas and more workers. Oh god, lots of workers, I'd like that. Catching up in work count quite nicely. Might do with another sunken just to be safe. And now is going for a lair, I like that. And another hatch somewhere, yes there it is. And no, it's going for a spire, and Halpan has sort of decided that it might be spire. Is rocking the game with a lot of Goliaths, upgrade wise. Oh, range is done as well. And TSMU is going for a lot of hatches. And that reminds one of Cherry Pie really, because Cherry Pie also likes to build a lot of hatches. And TSMU not trying to expand could really do with another couple of sunkers, because this army is getting to be really great. And oh, there is siege mode already, and that is going to be iffy, because these mutas can't do anything versus that many Goliaths. Oh, we've got 2 mutas now, that's pretty great. And only 1 tank per Halpan, so yeah, that's really a build order loss, I would say, because even if you are going to build pure mutas, the muta count can never... odd. Okay, let's do that again, because I say never, and then again the siege was lifted. Let's keep an eye on the muta count. It's 2, 3, 4. Pretty impressive. Have they got any upgrades? No. 8 muters. Lots of missiles fired on overlords. And I think that one Goliath might just fall. No, just barely lives. Muter count now at 9. Only one tank for Halpan. Halpan not taking a third worker count, double that of TSMU. But TSMU waiting for more muters to arrive. Is supply blocked at the moment and is very lucky that it has all these hatcheries. And now the muters are coming in and they go for the throat immediately. The Goliaths, they run away for some reason, and TSMU clipping the tank first. That's good, keeping the pressure off its income. And now all the Goliaths, they are fighting very much dispersed, and that's not the greatest way of doing things. And you can see these muters of TSMU hardly blinking, staying on target and killing a lot of stuff outright. And now the Goliath count, which was about 15, is down to 2. And versus 50 muters, that's not very funny. At least if you're on the Terran, it isn't. And TSMU can be nothing but quite happy. And the muters are chasing vultures and of course hitting the main base as well now, but they are doing so in a haphazard fashion with the repairs and a Goliath. Oh, but here comes some Zerglings. So I should say this settles it for TSMU. No more Goliaths coming up in a contained area, so lots of fighting power there. And TSMU all of a sudden has got 50 workers, hasn't got any bases, so that's a bit of an issue. Oh, cleaning up mines, nice touch there. More Zerg should have that. Halpan for the time being is holding its own, but you can see the natural is not mining. The Goliath count is decent with 7. There are some turrets, the repair is okay. The big issue though is TSMU gaining access to the rest of the map. And once this base is up, it will have 3 bases versus the only one of Halpan. And then it will be a countdown line with the number of Goliaths. Now the main base of Halpan has got some juice left in it. Let's look at the upgrades. They are decent. +1 weapons or armor might have been nice for Terran to get. And now TSMU is going to take more and more bases. That is the beauty of the thing, and the natural now completely overrun. A handful of Zerglings cleaning things up, and more Zerglings, guess what, are on the way. Oh, and we saw that, a Defiler. Unfortunately, by the time the Defiler will hit the map, I fear this base will have been reduced to ashes. Or, no, we are going to see it. It is there, somewhere. Oh, a couple of them coming up. 4th base started by TSMU and Halpan. Nice play, but not enough in the end. TSMU bringing the game back from the dead because of the Muter Micro wasn't really as efficient as it could have been, and that's a lot of Zerglings, and of course more will be coming up. The Defilers are keeping their cool. They have got consumed, but what is there to do? And that was the game. So there you go. Last game, it's Crazio versus TSMU Zerg. Crazio Terran games are not as much a rarity as they might have been, because Crazio Terran is no longer on the ladder, but from time to time someone sends me a replay, and this was one of the games of old, TSMU Zerg versus Crazio, and TSMU, when it first hit the ladder, it wiped it clean. It killed Ice, it killed Crazio, it killed everything in its path. Oh, and this seems to be a nice strategy coming up, a 2 racks proxy, and the Marines are going to save up their numbers and now going to find the base. So, same situation where TSMU was in after last game, but then Crazio is a little bit stronger than is Halpan. Now with 2 Sunkens on the high ground, I think that's a good decision. And Crazio behind this is building workers. So with the ramp and 2 Sunkens, I dare say that TSMU is in an okay position. Worker count is pretty good. So next step will probably be an in-base hatch for some more larvae. And Crazio, because it really can't find a way around these Sunkens, which a human player would have done. And that's something to keep in mind, that these AIs, even if these are 2 of the most advanced AIs we've got at the moment, finding a path alongside these Sunkens, because so many Marines have died, and meanwhile it's not really funny anymore. And now TCMU exiting the base, cleaning up whatever Marines there are. Production has been halted, and Crazio now going to switch to a more mech-based build order. Oh, and this is not good. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lots and lots of workers falling all over the place. And a Wraith as well, so TCMU under a lot of pressure, has got some technology, but really hasn't got too much of an army. Now has got some Muters. How many? 3 Muters. They do away with the tank, and will do away with the Vulture, the Wraith, which is breakdancing in an ineffective pattern. And now TCMU is going to take that base. So Muters by themselves can do quite nicely, even versus Stimp Marines, and Crazio is resuming Marine production as well as mech units. Oh, Muter dying there to a turret, that's unfortunate. Small mistake there, but TCMU will have natural soon, and Crazio will have had its natural running for quite some time. So economically, Crazio is miles ahead, and TCMU is building more and more Sunkens. I don't know why, but never you mind. Muter count slowly rising, upgrades not really there, and Crazio now going into a mixed composition of mech and bio. And TCMU going to run this game with Zerglings and Muters, which I think is a pretty decent composition. Lots of firepower in there, and Crazio, what is its main army going to be? You can see a lot of stuff being built, but no really big army. The army count is only 3, and that's not good. You can see the Zerglings doing a lot of damage, the Muters dying a little bit. But the Zerglings are killing a lot of workers, and Crazio is falling in worker count. TCMU taking the opportunity to take another base. And I am... Oh, Crazio, where is your army, man? It's not good. We've got 2 Goliaths coming up. I think that's better. Range will be in there as well. But the Zerglings are trading at a phenomenal rate right now, and more Muters and Zerglings are coming into the base of Crazio. TCMU is going to go completely berserk, not only taking down Halpan, but also Crazio Terran and these Zerglings. Oh, look at that. As soon as you give it a centimeter of room to breathe, it will take the map, and look at the worker count. It's absolutely gorgeous. Upgrades, not too many, but that's the GG. Crazio will have to tap out, and we're going to have to go into another game. And this is just a bit of coincidence, because I selected the game of Halpan myself. It is Halpan as the yellow Terran at the 8 o'clock position versus Crazio Protoss at the 2 o'clock position, and that is probably going to be a quite sweet game. You can see the forge and nothing else, so where there's a forge there will probably be a cannon rush in a very peculiar position, because if you are going to rush a Terran, you had better do so in a position where tanks will not be as much of a bother, and certainly not on the low ground. But then again, oh, nice game of tag, never gets old. That is going to cost you a lot of money to approach the wall, and then you have to devise a way of getting high ground vision. All the while, Halpan can work on its 2-factory thing without being even shot at once. Now, perhaps it will be as soon as this probe starts climbing up the ramp. Siege mode, meanwhile, is halfway done. Oh, and this barracks is not the wisest, because if you're going to float, you will attract the fire of the cannons. Here comes the siege tank, and it will render ineffective this cannon contain, although it will take Halpan a lot of time to break out, and Crazio meanwhile has set up the natural, has got the worker lead, and is setting up for a new technology consisting of probes. So, meanwhile, oh, nice touch there, flying in a command center, not wasting too much time, and with 2 tanks, I think this cannon contain is going to be out of the way pretty soon. Halpan doing this expertly, not breaking a sweat, and it must be said that that cannon rush could have been done a little bit better, but Halpan so far isn't losing too much, just taking its sweet time with the tanks, cleaning it up. And now Crazio is in a lot of trouble, because it has got a handful of cannons and 2 goons, and now getting mined up, and that's not good. The carriers are coming in, but there are 3 siege tank ranging the first gate, Stargate, so that's not really going to work. Oh, the Dark Temporal are there, but 2 of them trip on the same mine, and oh, the scan is active now, so that's not going to work very well either. How many scans have we got? Well, depleted for now, so more DTs might work wonders. in conjunction with a couple of turrets. Perhaps might even get to the point where there will be a... Oh, that was unfortunate for Halpern! Ah, go the mines! And, well, Crazy are doing quite well. The question is, what's keeping the carriers? There must be carriers, surely. So, this Stargate is in a rather exposed position, and there isn't really money for much more. And Halpan dropping the ball on the combat micro a little bit. Versus Zealots, okay. Versus Goons, not so much. And here is the first carrier, and the interceptor count will be the thing to watch. It is 1. And is there anti-air on the side of Halpan? Yes, there are 2 Goons, and they wade straight into 2 carrier Goliaths. They wade straight into the Goons and the cannons, so that didn't really work. But there are, of course, more Goliaths coming up, and Halpan has got every base save these with, which are sort of mined by these minerals already. Mined, so that will probably slow down Crazio's expansion a little bit. We have got 2 carriers, 7 interceptors, and we've got 3 Goliaths, and that's strange. Halpan's army is not doing very much. Occasionally losing a couple of hit points. Oh, waiting for the tank to do the killing. I can't really agree with that. And Crazio's carrier stuff is not really the best either. But still, oh, finally Halpan rucking the tanks up to the front. Mining has been disrupted for no good reason, but still. And the carriers, they haven't got the balls to fight, so that's not good. Interceptor count, 27. How many Goliaths have we got? Not all that many, so I'd say this ought to be doable by the carriers you have got. But the carrier micro of Crazio is lacking a little bit, and Halpan, undeterred, unfazed, is going to take the rest of the map and make more Goliaths. So this basically was your chance, Crazio, but you didn't really take it, and now you're in for a solid beating, or if not, you are going to have to pull a miracle of 1 base with no minerals left. So yeah, there we go, Halpan cleaning up the natural, taking a bit of time with the assimilator, but now on the high ground with the science vessel and some Goliaths as well. We have still got 52 interceptors, and it is quite... Oh, that was the worst route these carriers could take, and that will have its effect on the interceptor count, but yeah, this can only be a matter of time. Interceptor count 30. Halpan taking its sweet time, but slowly rolling over the base. Max versus a reducing number of carriers, and upgrade wise, I am going to have to call the GG. Next game up will be Mcgrave versus Simplicity, and Simplicity made a bit of a splash with its nice Zerg drops, very large, very effective. But then fell off a little bit because, I don't know. And Mcgrave has been steadily updating his bot. I really haven't been able to figure out the direction it's going to take, but the SimCity, as with all Protoss bot these days, is very, very nice. Forge, cannon, gateway, quick expansion, another cannon just to be sure, and then a zealot just to put a little bit of pressure on the enemy. But with 2 Sunkens, that enemy has got things under control at the home front and is now there with a handful of Zerglings as well. And that's a lot of Zerglings, good god. +1 weapons, lots of upgrades coming out of Mcgrave, no speed coming out of Simplicity, and that's a huge number of Zerglings. And not going to build... Oh, there comes speed finally. Scouting probe, oh, and a Corsair, that's so effective. Another Corsair. If the enemy hasn't got any kind of anti-air strategy, the Corsairs will absolutely murder you, and you can see that happening because Simplicity is already severely supply blocked, and the Hydras are going to have to chase for all they're worth. So I think that Simplicity did well with the spores, but they were a little bit late. But now the spores are up, there are a lot of Corsairs, and they don't really have a function anymore. That said, oh, third base up for Simplicity. Mcgrave taking its sweet time, building a lot of cannons and going into some kind of a DT play. That is all good and well, but I can't really, if your Corsairs are being checked, I question the wisdom of going for DTs, because that might just not work. The enemy has got a nice ground army. Has it got any upgrades? Yeah, well, the armor's nearly done, speed is there, overlord speed is coming up, and the 4th base is already started, so as a Protoss you might go and try and do something about that. Meanwhile, the army size for simplicity is absolutely puny. The army value is even worse, but now finally some combat units do appear to be built. Will we have some more upgrades? No, and that's strange, because simplicity is roaming the map with 2020 Hydras and Zerglings and hasn't got any upgrades for them. Oh, this is very unfortunate. You're not going to take an expansion like this anytime soon. But Mcgrave has got the Storm ready and some some High Templar on the field. This, though, can delay your build order for quite a bit, although Mcgrave has got a superior army, and finally we're getting some upgrades for Simplicity. Simplicity is building a lot of Hydras, and of course these Zealots, they don't like it very much. They don't like it, up, and one great man once said, and all the army is doing God knows what here. That's unfortunate. And now the Hydras are walking away and now doing some killing, but Simplicity's army is, you can see that by the upgrades if you haven't seen it. Ventral Sax is researching, so appears to be going for a drop, and as long as Mcgrave is getting stuck on its next expansion here, it will mine out the main and be in a terrible position, because Simplicity will just take more and more bases. And once this Ventral Sax thing is done... Oh no, that's... oh, did you hear that sound? That was the sound of a lot of Zerg units being loaded into Overlords. And now the entire army is on the move, and the Protoss army, oh, finally a probe broke through here, and now this army, oh, just in the nick of time, got out of there. Where is it going? The Zerg army is completely overrunning this base. Record speed, the 3rd is sort of started, and I think Simplicity is going to lose a couple of bases as well, if not all of them, because that Protoss army is really scary. Simplicity, meanwhile, taking down the natural, and may overrun the main as well, and that's really sloppy, because then you've got a 100 supply army with nothing to help and fight the enemy. And then every unit you lose out in the field is one unit too many. Simplicity's army micro leaves something to be desired. Mcgrave is not quite on the bounce either, but I think that this is the important figure to watch, as the main base is getting overrun. Oh, and Simplicity took out that base with a Zergling force, and now it is a countdown rhyme. These two numbers will soon equal, and we've got no detection for Mcgrave. That's unfortunate. Simplicity is going to war, and that is perhaps overambitious, but there are enough expansions. The natural still has got some juice in it, and this base is up and running as well, and the main base completely wasted by Zerglings, Hydras, and a couple of Lurkers, and that's the game. So Mcgrave, well tried, but getting stuck on taking a 3rd doesn't really pay for itself, so yeah, there we go. Now we are going down the ladder rank. Oh, perhaps a good time for me to show you. Seda has been retired. The Seda team released some kind of well, I haven't really had the time to look into it, but you can sort of use the Seda platform to do your own AI research, and then it is another environment in which to do brute war API coding, but taking offline the bot itself, I think there are so many tools and stuff for bots, but no, really the number of bots which is very good and maintained over the years is pretty small. So I think it's a shame that Seda got retired. Now, Locutus reigns supreme with an ELO of 2,627. Almost 100 points behind that is Purple Wave, then Crazio, another 100. Oh no, that's not really fair, that's 90, that's 80. And then Microwave, Banana Brain, Steam Hammer, but you can see all the points are really being kept in the top departments. Ironbot, Tsumu, Random, Chimera, Purple Destiny, Killerbot still hanging in there. Halpan doing quite well, can't really make the big splash yet. Dragon doing well, but well, could be with a little bit of an upgrade, could be, last upgrade is from May, Could be better. Chris Cokes hanging in there. Cherry Pie has been uploaded by a kind individual. Is still going great. Proxy doing well. Purple Spirit B Reaver. And then Velocirandom, Antigua, and all the rest. Mcgrave, win rate of 50%. Of course, it gets voted against good bots a lot, but I wonder if it's going to make a big breakthrough anytime soon, because that can be so hard with all these very good spots at the top. But back to the game. It's Fresh Meat versus Martin Royaker's Leaderbot. Royaker's Leaderbot hasn't been updated in forever, but it's still pretty deadly, so I thought, well, let's see what Fresh Meat is going to do. Going to play a 4-pool, and that's interesting. And there you go. Some workers may die, but the bunker with a couple of Marines in it will probably stymie that. And now let's see if Fresh Meat can do anything else. And it doesn't look like it. Lings, lings, lings. Leaderbot, of course, has got things well under control. Lots of Marines on the ramp. More Lings coming out of Fresh Meat. And Fresh Meat is going to be dead meat soon, because you can't see this Leaderbot army really growing in strength. It's just Marines, 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 depots, SCV, oh, a Marine, and a couple of medics. And if I'm not very much mistaken, there will be upgrades for these Marines soon as well. And then you are producing two. Oh, there has been a drone produced. I missed that. But you can see this going wrong. Stim nearly done, range already done, no weapon upgrades yet, but Leaderbot is taking its sweet time. And Fresh Meat, oh, there we go, that's awesome. That's another hatch. But still, the premise is that if you build enough Lings, you will succeed eventually. And obviously that's not going to work. Of course, it's more than a 4-pool, so that's good. But versus this kind of production, it's just not going to work. And I fear that these vultures, which are just a little bit of harass, will sort the deal for Leaderbot. Oh, and now drones are being built, but a little bit late. And that's the GG. Too bad. Fresh Meat, work to do, but then again, that's the old adage of all brutal AI, work to do. Now, Purple Wave versus Proxy. As we saw earlier, Proxy doing well, but not all that well compared to Purple Wave, which is sitting comfortably at number 2 position. Is going for a 2-gate to put a little bit of pressure on the enemy, and immediately bringing the pressure onto this Sunken. Another Sunken coming up, and some Zerglings as well, and Purple Wave losing a Zealot. And this, I think, this nice setup with, oh, that's a bit much perhaps, but then again, if the enemy is going to go 2-gate, you can rather make one Sunken too many and then start the game a little bit slower. If you have got one Sunken less than you would ideally need to hold off the Zealots, you are in for a sound beating, and I think that Proxy has sort of prevented that. What's it making now? It's making a lair and some more Zerglings, which I think is good. And I think that the Protoss, if you are going to invest heavily in Zealots, you might as well get the +1 versus Zerg. It's so effective. And the Dragoons, of course, will also benefit. Now, with the Defender's advantage, ooh, that is a lot of Zerglings though, slowing down a little bit so we can have a look at the micro. The Zerglings are all over the Goons, and although the Goons are positioned quite nicely, this one's getting stuck. Workers are being engaged, and the Goons seem to be able to clean it up now. Proxy not taking the opportunity to take third base, and is not successful with the Zergling pressure. And that may have something to do because the Zerglings didn't have any upgrades either. So if you are going to commit to a certain unit, it would be wise to upgrade it well. And I think in the case of the Goons, we have got range, that's good. And now, with the upgrades, you can see Zergling speed, air, ground armor, and air weapons. And this is not really the time to make a muta switch, because there are so many Goons out there. And if you are going to take mutas in a straight-up fight, even though they are accompanied by a couple of Zerglings, they can't really be of much use. Let's watch the muta count, because that's important. If the muta count hits 20 or 30, Goons become less and less effective, and with a couple of Zerglings I think these mutas can do quite well, but you ought to be rather careful with them, and perhaps wait for the +1 to finish to get a better timing. Now, third base started for both players, and I think that Zerg is a little bit late. Doing great with the Lings and the Mutas, but then again, the Muta count is not that high. You should really wait to get till you get some more. Then it can be much more effective. Oh, laying down a Corsair, that's good. But then again, you might do a sweep of the mineral line, because with this base as it is, the only thing that would be able to follow you is a Corsair, and these goons would have to come all the way round, and before that happened, you could have decimated the entire probe line. So, yeah, there we go. Wise lessons from someone who doesn't code. And Proxy trying to get things done with the Mutas in the middle of the map. Taking another Corsair by, not surprise, but by brute force. And now you can see the Muta count is growing. It's now 9, and you can see how much more deadly these Mutas now are. This, though, is stupid, and they should not do that. Oh, God, that's... yeah, good game. That's basically throwing it, because you are just going to lose Mutas without getting anything in it. Get the bloody hell out of there, cunty Mutas. That's just throwing the game away, basically, because Mutas, they don't represent a linear value. If you've got more, their value increases exponentially. And now you've got 0, oh, you've got 2 left, but they are probably out there getting themselves killed, fighting 3 Corsairs. Bloody hell, that was one way not to play Mutas. Fourth base started by Purple Wave, and Purple Wave is going to laugh its ass off, produce a lot of units insofar as it hasn't got a lot of units already. Kill the Zerglings by the bushel, +1 weapons finally being done. But now you've got 7 versus 42 army supply, and the Corsairs are over everything. The Muta count is 1, haha, 20 Zerglings versus 50 Protoss. Army supply is not going to work. Another base by Purple Wave. Purple Wave putting up some cannons just for good measure, and is not going to break a sweat this game anymore, I fear. So here we go, the hammer is pondering to strike the natural. The Muta count is severely depressed. There is 1 half-dead Muta here. The Lings are doing okay, but eco-wise it just doesn't make sense anymore with 57 versus 25 workers. It's not going to work. There isn't a Spore, which might have been very nice versus the Corsairs. You might gather your Muta count, and I think that Purple Wave has had enough. Although a lot of goons suffer horribly at the gates because of these Sunkens, I think this is pretty much over. You can see, oh dear, that's a lot of cannons, and you can't really blame Purple Wave for taking its time, because ultimately you have just got this game to win it, and you don't get any points for getting it done quickly. You just got to be sure it's there. And as long as you are doing well, why get hasty? You might bring another weapon to kill these Sunkens, but then again, and you might just kill this this hatch. You might not make all that many cannons out there, but all in all, oh dear, look at the gateway count. It is terribly impressive. For every Zergling being made, I fear there is a gateway unit coming up as well, and now Zerg is down to 2 bases, and that not for very long either. I think Purple Waves won it. I'm going to call the GG, hop into the next game, because we've got still 3 games to go. It's Rad Rum versus Maddening Zerg, and really I want to see how Maddening Zerg is doing, because the Maddening bots do get a lot of upgrades all the time. They don't seem to be very major, but work is steady and regular, so let's have a closer look at what's happening. You can see a lot of workers. Worker defense, not really the best, but then again, this SCV isn't really attacking either, so that's okay. Red Rum going for a 2 barracks build, which applies to more and more Terrans these days. Just going for a couple of barracks, put a little bit of pressure on the enemy, and see what you can get done. The Sunken is pretty late, and the Marines, even though there are only 5 of them, there is no Sunken. And how many Zerglings are coming up? Oh, quite a number. So I think no speed either. Oh, they all run away. That's great. So combat Mcgrave could be better, but I think in the end, although a couple of workers got slaughtered, the Zerglings... oh god, this Zergling Mcgrave is not really the best. And they've got to commend that makes for coding basically random or having 3 races in the running, but oh, and then Red Rum drops the micro ball as well, so that's okay. Medics are there, and the stim is only used for running away. These must be French Marines, and that's a very interesting position to take a base if you have got only 9 workers and no one's working at your natural. And now with fire bats and medics, and I heard stim, and have we got range coming up? Yes as well, so Red Rum, I fear, is going to win this game hands down. 7. Oh, there are some workers again, finally. But it's all a little bit late. And although the Zerglings do quite well, the main base is overrun. The micro for Red Rum could be a little bit better. Marines getting stuck. But with the main base in tatters and this base having only 1 drone, which is committing harakiri. Okay. Too sad. And that was the game. Last sunken defense. The game of sunken defense was lost. Penultimate game of the day, Steamhammer vs Antigua. It's a ZVP, and well, I'm always very interested to see what Zerg are doing, because I like them better than the other races. Microwave in 4th place and Steamhammer in 6th. So that is going to be about Steamhammer, and I need not tell you too many secrets and say that Microwave will be the last game of today. Then, a beautiful SimCity by Antigua. Well, it's not really beautiful, but it is effective, and units can pass through here, even big ones, so it is okay. And a gas steel, 3 units out of commission, trying to, or actually killing it. That's pretty well done. And no gas still taken, so lots and lots of minerals spent. I like that. The Zerglings are approaching somehow. No speed yet. And more Zerglings coming up. And I think that build order wise there is a huge... well, you don't really have to implement human build orders, but this is completely... Oh, here comes speed finally, but I really like Killabot, for example. It will get +1 attack as well as speed in Zerg versus Zerg for the Zerglings. Or if you see the Zealots coming up, do something with that. Build a couple of Sunkens, and it's just a bit sluggish. Now this is a lot of Zerglings, and +1 armor is coming up. The Zerglings are routing the Zealots at this point, which do not have +1. But here are some goons as well, and oh, a ninja expansion. That's what I like to talk about. That is actually clever and maybe of great use. But still, if your army is retreating, throw up a sunken, more than 1, and don't try to run out workers. Oh, one of them actually makes it out, but is also going to... God. So, we've got a sunken. And it got to be said that Antigua is doing things quite well. Has got the SimCity, is now building tech buildings in the middle of the map, which would be under threat if this contingent knew what the hell it was going to do. Unfortunately, it does not, and oh, the retreating Protoss army got cut up, and now Antigua is in a bit of trouble, but it's still got a decent army, has got 2 bases, has got substantial technology, so is not in too bad a shape. Steamhammer, though, has got a decent-ish worker count, has finally succeeded in transferring workers all across the map, and if it were only to forget about retreating all that much, it might actually kill a lot of Zealots. But hey, don't be that guy. And oh, another sunken. So that's lots of balancing of workers going on in the main base, but Zerg is throwing away a lot of forces, and now with the Sunkens as backup, the Hydras are fighting sometimes, but all in all the Protoss army is pretty powerful, and there is just nothing coming up. There is a Lurker coming, which might just be able to save the day, because Antigua's really thrown a lot of weight behind this goon push. Oh great, yes, that's where you need to be. To the front, and don't get up until this Protoss aggression is over. And that is what you see Lurkers do too much. Just get up, try to get itself killed, and it will then get targeted by goons and die. Here it goes. It is so abominably... Oh, but now it's getting a lot of damage into there, but the next time it will rear its ugly head, it will get killed. And that's just not good. Antigua going for the third. So Antigua's development is pretty good. Building placement could be a little bit cleaner. But then again... oh, the Lurker is still there with 0 hit points. And now Dark Templar and an Archon as well. The Hydras are still running for their lives. You've got French Hydras today. There it goes. Oh, and it just lives for one more round, but... it's so hard to watch. And this Lurker is really dishing out the damage by the bucket load. And that's only because Protoss is so aggressive with its units movement. Oh dear, and one more goon might actually kill the goon. Yes, there it goes. Kill some more goons. Oh god, Antigua, where is your... I did see an observatory. Where is the observer? Is there an observer? No, there is no observer. So if you have got a Lurker and an observatory and... oh, please build an observer. Meanwhile, Steamhammer is down in supply because he's only got 27 workers. So that's sad. But then again, it's not hopeless. Antigua, though, is going to macro and has got 55 workers, which I think is a nice amount. Upgrade-wise, Zerg is actually ahead, and we've got the Interceptor upgrade, so... Oh, and an Observer, finally. Good morning. Steamhammer, what are you going to do next? Build more... Oh, going for a Muta Switch. Might actually work for the mobility. Kill a base here, kill a base there. There aren't any cannons, so that would probably be good. Worker count, still abominably low for 4 bases. Could have taken the entire map, could have done some harass, but instead just focus on the main base with your tiny army of Hydras and Zergs. If you have got all this invested in ground upgrades, why go for a Spire? And where is your gas? If you're going to go for a Spire, you are going to need gas and a lot of it too. Oh, and 3 Zealots are going to shut this base completely down. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, Scourge! Yes, Scourge. Because there are so many enemy air units. Oh, well, there's one coming up. Oh, and it says, well, okay, so I won't say anything against the Scourge. Because they do sort of do away with the carrier. My bad. Sorry, Steamhammer. I'm ranting a little bit too much and not paying attention. As usual, I should do better. And now the Hydras are steamrolling the map with an Overlord for detection. And, oh, the Scourge, that is prim micro by the Scourge. Very good. You can also, you can always see AIs, if they do try and use Scourge, that their micro is sort of bad because you need to write custom code for them, because it's so very different a unit than other units. It actually got the Suicide. And that is a carrier which is nearly dead already, and the Hydras are all over it, but I did manage to see a Dark Templar, and it's doing a lot of damage. The cannons are doing so as well. Another base. Oh, that's not a base by Zerg, it's a base by Protoss getting killed. And now Steamhammer is trying to exert some map pressure. Going for more buildings, going for some harass. This base torn down, that base to smithereens, this one overrun, and now you can see that Antigua's a little bit stretched. It's got to be everywhere at once, and the worker count for Steamhammer, albeit a little bit late, is getting better. Nice scourging of that carrier, and although it's a very unusual army composition, Hydra Muta seems to have some grip on the map. Oh god. Yeah. Morph as whatever, then unmorph, morph again, and die. Very good. Excellently done. Oh, and the... God. This game is so full of difficulties that it's really hard to... Oh, and I think that Protoss is going to break through, but there is a Defiler, and the Defiler has got consumed, but it is going to charge the Zealots with its tail, going to slash them all down like you see in these dinosaur movies which don't make sense. But it lives. For glory. And we've got a Devourer. That's pretty cool. So this game is completely off the hook. We've got a Muta killing stuff here being set on by a carrier. Now running, and we've got Scourge coming up. The Scourge and a Devourer and a Muta. This is like the back of a DVD box with all kinds of crazy units which you don't see in normal life fighting. Oh, we've got a Defiler, and it has got Consume, and there are air units, so you would cast a Dark Swore. But no, let's not waste our time with that. Meanwhile, though, Antigua is cleaning up bases in a somewhat efficient style, so I think that Steamhammer is not going to be long for this world. And there is a lot of potential in this spot, but it's really not coming together. And Antigua, although it's a bit sluggish, it can use all the units. It doesn't make any upgrades whatsoever. Are we going to get Plague as well? Yeah, sure. Prioritizing could be better. And will we have Plague? Nope, we will not. Antigua's overrunning Steamhammer, and Antigua is getting maxed. So, yeah, that's going to be the GG, because this base just cannot hold out against a nearly 100 supply army. Nice round with the Zealots to finish it off. That's the GG. Let's hop into the next game of today. It's Locutus versus Microwave. Locutus, the undisputed #1 now, Seda has gone, is going to play from the top right position. Bottom right, it will be Microwave. And Microwave, what are you going to do? An extractor trick for one more supply. That's good. And then of that supply, build a quick hatchery. I like that. Aggressive. Now Locutus is going to build its immaculate SimCity once again. A little bit late, so the scouting drone gets a full view of all of it and then dies trying to kill the pylon. That doesn't make sense. The scouting probe is getting all the information out of Zerg too, so that's about even. And the Zerglings are going to go to town on the map, knowing that there are 2 cannons and a SimCity. So that doesn't make sense either. So it's still a lot of things which don't really make sense, and somehow these bots do like to do that. You can see 8 workers for Microwave, now 9, and a lot of Zerglings, but surely the scouting drone got killed by these 2 cannons, so it should know they were there, and then the scouting overlord saw this other one too. And then you sort of know you can't handle that with, I don't know, 16 Zerglings. But hey, whatever floats your boat. And let's build more Zerglings. Now Locutus has got a Zealot over there and 2 Zealots now, so it should be perfectly safe, and is building +1, and that is intelligent, because if you see a number of Zerglings and you have got a couple of Zealots, get the +1, you'll get so much fun out of that. It is immaculate to be able to do something like that. Leg speed as well, so if you've got these Zealots, upgrade them well, and then you get more fun out of them. And not overextend, just wait for the Zerglings to come. Meanwhile, Microwave is building some workers. Not too many, because that would be cheating. And now the Zealots are on the march. And there is a nice Zerg SimCity as well, so I think that Zerg is in an okay position. Upgrade-wise, Hydra speed is good, but for all this time, could have taken 1 or 2 bases, made a lot of workers. But if you are going into, and you can't really see that, but this is about the 9-minute mark, if you are going into that with 26 workers versus the enemy, oh, that's better. More workers coming up, so not going to say anything against that. Meanwhile, Locutus being happy with the Zealots. Leg speed finishing up, goon range, armor coming up, +1 is done, and that will be such a benefit. Taking the in-base mineral only, very good, nice touch. Microwave could have done that as well, but instead opted to build these 2 macro hatches right in the front line. So, now, one more gateway coming up, and you can see where this is going to go wrong for Zerg, because Protoss is getting ahead, has got map control, and now overextending, losing 2 Hydras for nothing basically. Is that a drone? That is a drone. It is rather late, but might just be one of these things that are going to keep you in this game. Locutus, though, is trying to do the same thing with scouting. We'll keep an eye on that probe as well. Worker-wise, it's 50 versus 28, or 49. Yeah, now it's 50. Don't select all these. That's ugly. And now the Zergans will find that. That's a nice catch, actually, and will... No, not the entire army will draw back. 2 goons will, but this base is gone, so that's really a nice touch by Microwave. And this is pretty ballsy, because you can see 1, 2... about 7 or 8 Hydras die, and the return value is nothing. And Protoss army is twice as strong already, so that's not really good. The third base for Zerg is up, and the Hydra count keeps growing. The upgrades for Hydras, though, do not match those of the Gateway army of Locutus. And Locutus, I must give it props for not playing pure Goon, which it loves to do. Oh, we're going to see Lurkers as well. That's great, because a couple of Lurkers might really make the life of these Protoss units miserable. But the Zealot Goon combination clips down another 15 Hydras, basically for nothing. The only thing dying on the Protoss side is a pair of Zealots. And, ooh, this is pretty neatly done. There is nothing here, and that's no way to lose a base. Some units are being sent to help, but... Oh, now the Lurkers are there. Is there any kind of detection over here? Is going to be built, I presume. That must be the Robo Bay first. And then, yes, the Robo Bay first. And then this base is stamped out. And this base is up and running. 2 cannons will soon make it impregnable. And, ooh, this is what Microwave needs. Oh god, no! You were doing so well, and then you unburrowed and all died. And all these units lost their shields already, a lot of them with damage to their base hit points. And that is, well, you didn't have the game won yet, but that's a great way to help throw it. Get down! God. It's... Lurker Micro is so hard to get right. It's even after, I think, almost 10 years of Root by Eye, there is not a single Zerg with immaculate Lurker Micro. And now the Lurkers are down, you can see the amount of damage they can do. Even to a well-upgraded Protoss army, it is horrendous. And finally the in-base natural being taken, but I fear that there will soon be... Or let's just do it without an observatory. This is sort of the defensive mode, I like that. They're not trying to actually attack and get into... Oh, or not. Oh, there is an observer, and that's the end of that. And now Locutus is all over the map. A worker count of 75 to 18, army count 60, 70 to 1. Has got a huge bank and is making a lot of gas and Nexus because it needs the gas, and meanwhile it's making a lot of Zealots. So, Microwave, very nice try. Need a little bit sharper. So going to watch that. And that is the GG Locutus. Good game, very well played. Still a monster even without Seda to push you to your limits. I say thank you for everyone who submitted a game to be cast, and thank you for everyone watching. Hope to see you again next week, where Shanko will be providing the broadcast, and that week after that I'll be there again. For now, good night and goodbye.